Hello, welcome back to another episode of Woodworking by Edgar. This will be part 5 of my old wooden rowboat rebuild, and in this video I will be showing you how to plank the sides and then doing some epoxy on the bottom, and I will also show you flipping the boat over so that I can work on the inside. So my bottom is all glued in now, and some of these places, like right here, the bottom is fine the way it is. Here I'm going to just plane it a little bit to get it so that that side will fit on properly. So I'll just plane it along some of these areas here. So it fits pretty good right there now. I will plane right here, then I'll connect the dots so that it has a nice round to it. Pretty good right there. So I'll take this piece that has a little bit of a round to it. So I will put it right here, and that gives me a line to go to with my planing. I'm just bringing you in a little closer here to show you that this fits along through here, but it also has an angle going this way. So when that side goes along here, it will fit nicely right through there. So now I'll finish planing this whole side and giving it that angle so that the plank will fit nicely on that. So here I am starting to fit that plank on the bottom, and as you can see, that plank has a angle on it that fits in below that other plank that's on the top. Also, it has a scarf joint in it which fits in with the scarf joint that's on the original bow of the old boat. You can see here that I have fitted this plank, and this has a scarf joint here to fit the original plank on the bow. But you can also see from this that the plank has quite a curve to it. It's not a straight piece. When you do any of these lap straight pieces, even though this is a straight bottom, when the board takes and makes a curve going around the boat, that doesn't translate to a straight line on the piece of plywood, but it's a curved line instead. So you can see this board has quite a curve to it, even though it goes on a straight bottom. Here I am fitting the stern part of that plank. It also has a scarf joint in it to fit into that front part of the plank, and then also an angle which is actually on the top of the board. I mean, it's on the bottom of the boat right now, but it's when you flip the boat over, it's going to be the top of the plank. Just going to show you how this is fitting here on this side. Here you can also see that angle that's on the bottom of that plank to accept the top plank. There's another scarf joint here on the back side. Here I start the process of fitting a plank on the other side of the boat. I take measurements of what I have, and then I mark it out on the piece of plywood and make an educated guess as to what that plank will look like. I then put it on the boat and fit it
until it fits properly, and then I cut that angle on the bottom and also cut out that scarf joint so it will fit in with the old boat.
So now I have this plank fitted here, and as you can see, it goes down in behind this one here. So you can see that here this goes below this plank here. Now I'll have to cut a scarf on this end here. So now I have my planking all fitted on the sides. This is the other side. And then I'll start epoxying all of this together.
Here I am mixing some epoxy, and then I will put epoxy on the plank and also on the frames, and then put that plank onto the boat. I will screw the plank onto the boat in just a few places, which those screw I will take out afterwards, and the holes will get filled in with epoxy at a later time. Here you can see I'm mixing my epoxy with the metering pumps. On the video in part 3, I had explained how to mix epoxy, and there I mixed it by measuring it. I had forgotten to warm my epoxy up, and so the pumps, it's almost impossible to work them when the epoxy is cold. I usually keep my shop at about 60 degrees, but I put my epoxy in front of the pellet stove to warm it up to about 75 degrees before I start mixing.
So now I have it epoxied together.
So now it is the next morning, and I am bedding a fiberglass tape into the bottom edge of the boat. This tape will hold the bottom of the boat together and make a very strong joint. I'm using that instead of that chine which was in the original boat.
So I have put a strip of fiberglass tape along the bottom of the boat. Today I wanted to point out my sign here, which my friend Kyle cut out on his CNC machine. His channel is K Dukes Design, and I'll put a link to his channel in my description below. So if you like this video, please subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and hit that notification bell. That is my transom here, and my sides, everything is all epoxied together. I have this fiberglass tape here which I have epoxied onto the bottom, and this will hold that bottom together.
I will also fiberglass the whole bottom of this boat and then roll it over that joint onto the next plank to make that joint much stronger.
So now I'm getting ready to flip this boat over. I have some hooks that are up in my ceilings here. There's one of them, and I have another one up on this end of the ceiling here, which is that hook right there from previous. These are from previous boat builds, and so I picked my boat up on those hooks, and I will flip it over.
So here I am removing all the screws that hold the boat to the cradle that's on the bottom. Some people also call that a strong back, but I need to remove those so that when I pick the boat up, I'm not picking up that cradle with it. Here I am attaching a rope to clamps that are on both sides of the transom and then picking it up with that strap. And also I'm picking up the front of the boat with a strap and then I can flip it over. Boats don't usually flip over very easily. It's hard to get them balanced with just the straps, and then you have to get the boat to go over that center of balance to flip over.
So now I have my boat flipped over, and I've got this piece here just clamped on the side to kind of straighten out what my top will look like. One of my planks here is just a little bit low in this section from what it looks like, and I probably will have to add a little filler piece there. I was hoping that these would be longer so that I could just clip them off, which that side looks like it's going to be good, but this side I will have to do from about here to here. I will add a little piece to fill in this plywood, but it will be behind the gunnel, so not really that critical, but it would have been nicer if it had been a little bit longer. So I have the gunnels fitted now, and I'm going to mix up some epoxy, and I will glue this gunnel, well, both gunnels on both sides. Okay, I have all the gunnels glued in now with epoxy, and as you can see, again, clamps and more clamps and more clamps. So I've got a bunch more fiberglass cloth cut out, and I'm going to epoxy that fiberglass cloth into the bottom corners and also where the two planks come together up in the middle of the boat. So I'm going to start doing that at this point.
I started by doing the tape in underneath that deck, and it is a real challenge to get down in underneath there and to work, but it is something that needs to be done.
So now I have put some fiberglass tape and epoxy on all of those joints there, including everything that's down below that front deck. As you can see, this fiberglass tape is white when you first start out, but then as you put it on and put epoxy on it, it gets clear.